Hello, this is Scott from AboutTheInn.com. This is a short presentation on using Facebook that's beyond the basics from an event on social media put on by the Maine Innkeepers Association held on April 27th, 2011. So as we move beyond the basics of Facebook, we'll be focusing on three areas. The areas will be engagement, to some extent optimization, and measurement of the progress. But primarily we'll be focusing on engagement. We'll do mostly Facebook, a little bit on Twitter, and to some extent these things all apply to LinkedIn. They also apply to other things where you may find your customers, but most of the principles are uniform. There are some differences, and we'll talk about those as we go along. So first of all, we need to consider just what the goal is. Oftentimes we get absorbed in the time we spend on Facebook or Twitter or whatever your platform of choice may be, and we think about how we're going to do it and just how we're going to find time to do it all, and we don't really focus on what we're trying to accomplish. So much as I hate the terminology heads and beds, that is the bottom line, because when we sell rooms for lodging properties, that's how we pay the bills. So when all is said and done, heads and beds is the bottom line, no matter how you want to characterize it. So we need to consider whether or not we have a plan, and the plan should include engaging guests and then some measurable objectives as well. So as we consider those things, the first thing to look at is, where are our guests? Well, we know that to a large extent, simply by sheer numbers, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they may be following our blog, they may be on LinkedIn, they may be on a number of other social networks, from Foursquare to Orkut to Gowalla and some of the others. But what you need to do is find out where the majority are and definitely try to reach them. If there are others that you think are significant in contributing to exposure for your property, then certainly you need to be present there as well. So remember that what we're really trying to do is to create relationships. We're trying to use social media to make friends for your lodging property. We're not so much looking at just selling or the hard sell, but we're looking at creating relationships in the places where the guests are. So the first step, at least from a Facebook point of view, is to create some engagement through your custom welcome page. If you can create a custom welcome page, one that is very attractive, usually something that is modeled somewhat on your website, and then you, first of all, you draw the user in with hopefully the attractiveness, the pictures, the text that you use. But also then, if you notice at the top of this example, it says like us and receive news and non-advertised specials. Now, that is something that you can do with your Facebook page, and it's one that we would definitely suggest, and that is you provide a benefit for liking you on Facebook. So when the user likes you, they have the access to things that not everyone else gets. So that makes people feel special. It makes them want to engage with you. That's a positive thing. We also suggest that you post pictures or videos because they tell a story. We had an interesting thing happen at an innkeeping conference not long ago, where one of the keynote speakers mentioned that he was going to use a story that we had told as an illustration of the power of a story in social media. And the story that he was referring to was captured in less than 140 characters on Twitter. We had been in the habit of posting things about what we were serving for breakfast and so on, and our guests seemed to appreciate that. If we stop, they send us notes and say, "What's for breakfast?" So we were doing that, and one day we had a young couple who got engaged at our house the night before, and so we posted that in the tweet. Cute young couple got engaged today, enjoying breakfast of whatever we were serving. Told a story, and it engaged users, and that spread much more widely than would otherwise happen. Another way to do it is to ask questions. Now, in Twitter you can ask questions, and sometimes you get a resounding echo of your own voice and not much else. In Facebook, you have the ability to ask questions, but you also have the ability to use what Facebook calls a Facebook question, which allows you to create a multiple choice question. And you can either limit the potential responses to your choices, or you can expand it and allow others to add their own selected options. we've done a number of things there. Sometimes we're earnestly trying to get feedback from our guests, which is certainly a good thing. For example, we asked them, did they prefer sweet dishes for breakfast or savory dishes? And we got some interesting information from that. We also then asked them what kinds of dishes they like among the sweet dishes. Do they like, pancakes or waffles or more involved things? Just what do they like? And we allowed them in that case to add their own choices, and they added a number of interesting things that we hadn't even considered mentioning. So you learn a lot of interesting things by asking questions. So the other thing you can do to create some interaction is to feed your blog to your page, because a lot of your Facebook followers will not necessarily be blog readers unless you make it available to them through that. And Facebook as a page is like a big hungry animal just waiting to be served. So all you need to do is connect your blog to that, and every time you post, it'll also post to your Facebook group so they all keep up with your news. And of course, you do want to encourage interaction, so even in your blog, you may choose to ask questions or try to get feedback directly there. You can also offer specials to just your Facebook audience. We saw that in the custom welcome page. There was a hint that they would be doing that. You can sell gift certificates through there. There is an application that will allow you to do that. You can also create an application, depending on your booking engine, that will allow you to accept online bookings directly through your Facebook page. So that's also very helpful. Now, from a point of view of optimization, you definitely want to optimize your Facebook page, both your profile for your business and then also some of the information that's set out there. Facebook is its own search engine, so you want to use terminology that your potential guests might be using as they're searching for your type of property in your area. So just as you would do this on a web page, you want to create not only your vanity URL, but you also want to think about what profile attributes you put in there as things that you might be able to search on, because that certainly is going to be something that you do. So you should think of the attributes of your profile as keywords and make sure that you're thinking of that so that when people search those things, you will come up. You also want to be creative as you think about, say, the name of your page and so on. Think about branded, obviously your brand name, versus non-branded ideas, or branded versus descriptive. Same idea, really. Here's an example. You could create, let's say, a hardware-related Facebook page called, say, Black & Decker. That would be interesting if you really like Black & Decker. You could also create something called Women with Tools. Which do you think might be more attractive to people? A similar thing happened as a real-life situation with Siteman Cancer Center. When it first started, it opened up and floundered around for a while with just a couple of hundred fans. It's up to a couple thousand now. And while that may be a nice number, compare that with Cancer Sucks. Both of them do the same thing. They both are basically information and sort of like support group type things for cancer situations, but Cancer Sucks is much more attractive, but it's also a far more engaging page. Something to think about as you create yours. That's not a recommendation that you necessarily just copy that idea, but copy the concept of the creative name to attract attention and then the engagement to keep people going. So be non-commercially commercial. And by that what I mean is don't just try to sell things. It's been said many times, and I certainly wholeheartedly agree, that in many ways social media is just like going to a cocktail party or chatting with friends. It's something where you carry on a conversation, you don't just sell stuff. So you know perfectly well if you go to a party and you meet, to pick on an industry, an insurance salesman, and all he wants to do is set up that appointment or get your information so that he can send you more information. All he's trying to do is sell, 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 sell. You're not going to want to spend that evening chatting with him unless you're in desperate need of insurance. On the other hand, if you meet that same insurance salesman and all he does is give you good information about things you might be interested in doing, things that might be helpful to you. They're friendly, they're entertaining, they're witty. You might very well contact that person on your own and try to buy some insurance. So that's the point of view that most people expect in the social media world, so it's an important thing. So think of things to talk about that appeal to large segments. In our industry, you might say, I need a vacation. Well, who doesn't? So people are always thinking about the opportunity for that. Maybe it's coffee. Whatever you want to focus on, but keep it on topic. Now, there's nothing wrong, by the way, with having some personal things revealed. That's not so much off topic, as long as you establish your credibility as someone who stays on topic, and then you put a little personal side to things. People find that engaging and entertaining. But when all you do is complain about your personal life, or all you do is talk about personal things or annoying things or whatever it is, you'll find that people don't want to follow you. Measure the results. In the Facebook world, this is a little different than Google Analytics. It's not just a check your analytics page, but there is a thing called Facebook Insights. To get to it, you go to your Edit Page button, which would allow you to make changes to your Facebook page. But down in the left column, there's an Insights entry, and you'll find when you click on that 2 sections, one on users, which will give a summary and a graph, and then one on interactions, which will give a summary of interactions and a graph. Each one has more details. And you can set them up to show you the last day, week, month, year, whatever it is. So you get your information there, and it'll give you a good overview of how much interactivity you're getting, and it'll give you an idea of what were the most popular posts and what things got attention. So thanks for listening. I hope you find this useful, and get out there and be non-commercially commercial.